For a transcript of this episode, training plans, and more, visit marathonsfortherestofus.com. Okay, so today's question is, what strength exercises would help with my running? And when I think about this question, I'm going to make the assumption that you're already sold on the benefits of strength training as it relates to running. There's really two main benefits, and they're very closely tied. The first is efficiency. You're going to run more efficiently if you do strength training. And when I talk about running more efficiently, one of the big things that I like to talk about is making sure that the correct muscles are doing the work. And that means that we're stressing the appropriate parts of the body when we run. And that's really important for the second benefit, which is reducing the risk of injury. Now, this is not injury prevention. This is just reducing the risk of injury. And one of the ways we can do that is making sure that we are stressing the correct areas, the strongest areas of our body, the ones that are meant to be used as we run, because really a lot of injuries happen when the stress being placed on that part of the body is more than that part can handle. So strength training is going to help improve the efficiency. It's going to help reduce the risk of injury. Both of those things are going to allow you to train more and to train harder, which ultimately is going to relate to faster racing times. Okay, so that's sort of, in a nutshell, the quick overview of benefits of strength training for your marathon training. Now, the second assumption that I'm making with this question is that you're not dealing with any specific injuries, that this is strictly strength training as it relates to running, training, performance, those sorts of things. If you have a particular injury that you're dealing with, your physical therapist or your chiropractor or your doctor would be able to recommend specific strengthening exercises that can address that, but I'm going to be talking about it more just in a general sense. Now, when I think about strength training and running, I think about three main areas. The first is postural strength. Okay, these are the muscles that allow you to stay nice and upright and allow you to have good posture when you're running. This is going to be important both from a form perspective, but also just from making sure that we're getting all the oxygen that we can into our lungs and we've got that available to use. You know, posture is one of those things that really breaks down towards the end of the run, towards the end of the race, and that's especially true during the marathon. So doing postural strength, really important. A great way to think about postural strength is anything with a pulling motion. Okay, that can be pull-ups, it can be lat pull-downs, it can be rows, it can be seated rows, bent over rows. All of those sorts of things are going to help strengthen the postural muscles, which is going to help you keep that good upright posture longer in the marathon. Now, the second area that we need to focus on is core strength. And obviously, everybody's heard about core strength. A very, very popular topic. I'm sure you've read a million magazine articles, watched a million YouTube videos about core strength and distance running. But it's really important to remember that core strength is not the same as ab strength. Okay? Most people end up just doing a bunch of sit-ups, a bunch of crunches, and feel like they really work their core. And we need to think about the core 360 degrees around. Okay? So we can't just be doing ab exercises. We can include some, but that's really not where we're going to get the most benefit. We're going to get more benefit from things like planks. We're going to get more benefit from things that have lateral movements to them. You know, things like lateral leg raises, monster walks, clamshells, those sorts of things. And we're going to get more benefit from things that really focus on the hip and the butt strength. This is an area that doesn't tend to get a lot of use during our day-to-day lives, and so it's a little bit weaker than we need it to be. So if we can focus on getting those areas stronger, it's really going to help us with our distance running. Now, the third area that I like to focus on is lower body strength. And you want to make sure that you don't make the mistake of thinking that just because you're running a lot of miles, you wouldn't benefit from lower body strength. It's going to help make you more efficient. It's going to allow you to absorb the pounding of both the training and the race itself. And so we want to make this part of our routine, even though our legs are getting a lot of stress over the course of the training itself. And to me, the best movements and the best exercises are the ones that most closely mimic the running motion, okay? We want to target these muscles, so it makes sense to target them in a way that we are going to be using them as we run. And so that means we want to do things, you know, like squats and like lunges, things that are single leg, things that have our feet on the ground. And we want to stay away from machines like the leg extension or even the leg press, because those aren't going to be the same running specific movements that some of these exercises can be. Now, there's a lot of options out there, but I think it's really important with the lower body strength that you begin with just your body weight. Start there, see how it feels, see if you want to progress. But again, because the marathon training does provide a lot of stress to the legs, we don't want to overdo it. We want this to kind of be the cherry on top of the sundae. So start with the body weight, see how it goes, and only progress if you're really comfortable with it. Now, there's certainly other categories like plyometrics that would fall under the strength training umbrella that can be really helpful too. And I don't want to get into those today because I think if you're not currently doing any strength training, you really need to focus on postural strength and core strength, and then slowly start to add in some lower body strength. Once you're comfortable with all of those and you know you can handle all of it and handle your training load, then you can think about incorporating things like plyometrics and some of the more advanced strength training techniques. And I want to make sure that I emphasize, no matter what strength exercise you're doing, no matter what we're talking about here, good form is key. Okay, have somebody that knows what they're talking about and knows how the exercise should look watch you and make sure you're doing it correctly, particularly as you start to add weight to the exercise. There's certainly a risk of injury from doing exercises incorrectly, but from an efficiency standpoint, there's a risk of just not working the muscles that we want to be working if your form isn't good. And so you're sort of wasting the energy that you're putting into the lifting. So make sure you focus on good form no matter which exercise you're talking about, and make sure that you progress really gradually with all of this. Okay, remember your body's under a lot of stress. We want to add more in a productive way, not in a way that gets you injured. So that wraps us up for today. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. Would love to know what you think about this video and any ideas you have for future ones as well. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.